So the theme of what's coming through today, the theme is that I'm called to speak about today is not becoming a guru. So the idea of, that becoming a guru has all kinds of problems. There's all sorts of things involved with it. I watched some video about Carlos Castaneda, and I really, appreciated his books when I was younger and when I was young, and so I read some documentary about him. I watched some documentary and said that in his later years, some friend of his was saying that he held his book, close to his chest, holding on to it, and to remind himself of who he was, and that he had a large following, and it became stricter and stricter, and probably authoritarian like everything else becomes, and so this is the point is that it's up to the individual to people tend to follow leaders, and they don't do any of the work themselves, and this is the problem. This is the problem on earth, that everybody needs to be doing their own thinking. You need to do your own thinking, and so there are certain things that bind us together as a whole, as humans, and one of those things is health. And science comes along and says, okay, everybody, if they get a certain disease, then some antibiotics might help. And it helps pretty much everybody because we're all human. It's like we have common traits as humans that everybody has. Everybody basically has blood. Everybody breathes air. Everybody has to eat food, drink water, have some shelter. It's commonalities of the physical body that are important, and there are, everybody's claim to uniqueness is, I want to say touching, but there are certain ideas that bind us together as oneness, and the arts. It's a beautiful idea to have diversity. It's a beautiful idea to have arts, music, diversity in music and arts and expression. Everybody has a slightly different point of view, which is helpful. But as far as some things go, it's they're all commonalities, and so I would say that probably. It seems like Castaneda tried to teach that everybody could do the same thing that he did, and he basically had some ideas about how people could achieve that on their own. So the problem is that. I don't know what the problem is. The problem is you get gurus and you get leaders and people who think that they're not as good as the guru, So you get a bunch of people who bow down to the guru and say, I could never do what you do. And that's as far as they get. And they sit all out in the audiences and they ask the same stupid questions over and over again every single time. And if I was a guru, I would get tired of answering those questions because they never change. It's like they go on and on, decade after decade, the same freaking questions. So, it's the trap of a guru is quite real. So, I wanted to draw some cards on that and see what the cards tell us. So let's do that. Okay, let's see what we get. Better off mixing them like this. Whoop, there we go. There's one. Came flying out. Okay. 5 of Wands. Okay, that's everybody with their own point of view. Everybody's fighting about who's right and who's wrong. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody is voicing their opinion, which basically says, I'm right and you're wrong. And so there is none of that on the upper levels. So the reality is quite well known on the upper levels. So you don't have to speak about it. You just experience it. You experience reality the way it is. And here on Earth, we're still wondering about reality. Everybody's is doing their own thing. Everybody's on a separate page. Nobody's doing anything together, which we as a species, there's certain things that we need to be doing together. And, I would say one of them, which is, the upper levels, you get into oneness, kind of like where everybody is kind of on the same page doing the same thing together. And there's no options of somebody thinking this way and somebody thinking 180 degrees. It just doesn't exist because everybody already knows that those points of view they're not correct. You don't have a million different points of view. There's only one point of view. It's like reality is reality, and you experience it the way it is. And so you don't have the luxury of having your own point of view, your own special claim to uniqueness. This is what's going on here with the clubs. Everybody has their own claim to uniqueness. So there's certain things that can improve that situation. One of them, I would say the easiest one, the best one and easiest one involves the physical human body health. And I've said it in all of my videos, is the whole food plant-based diet is proven by science over and over and over again for 70 years now that this is the most optimum diet for the human body. The human body does not get chronic disease, or very rarely gets chronic disease with this sort of a diet. It prevents chronic disease. Every mouthful of food is fighting cancer. The plants they have compounds in them that fight all of those cancer cells, and you're not eating those fats in meats, which saturated fats in meats, and all the toxic compounds in meats that cause heart disease and clogged arteries. You're not getting all of that. So, the oils that you eat in the nuts and seed oil, these are good for you. They don't create heart disease. But I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice. You can find the truth on nutritionfacts.org. So this situation needs to go away. This is what's going on. This is where we are now. So what's on the bottom? There's the magician. The magician is on the bottom. So this is the magician can work miracles. All the swords, cups, pentacles, and wands. All the kingdoms are there on the table. He's connecting heaven to earth. That's what it is. It's a connection from heaven to earth. So the reality in the upper levels needs to connect with earth, in some sort of oneness. The human species needs to be more one and not fight each other every step of the way. We need to be on the same page about certain things. And again, I would say the easiest one is whole food, plant-based diet, which so happens if every individual decided on their own while they have a choice, because the nations are taking over they're taking away all your choices. So while you have the chance, you could decide to take your planet back by becoming vegan, whole food, plant-based diet, and take your health back. And it so happens that climate scientists say that this could absolutely stop climate change in its tracks. So you're doing two things. I want to say you're killing two birds with one stone, but I'm a vegan, so I don't like killing birds. Birds are very helpful to me. Birds are the messengers of the universe, especially crows. So the two things that you're getting out of this is you're reclaiming your sovereignty of your body over your body, which obviously if you give it away to the hospitals, then what life is that? If you give it over to those guys, they don't know. They don't have cures for cancer and heart disease. They just make you feel better while you die. So those things, those chronic diseases have to be prevented. You can't cure them. So, take back your own body, your own sovereignty, and take back your planet. Your planet. Don't give it away to those nations that think, they're all business. They don't have you in mind. They have business in mind. And I don't know, it's just so wrong that I can't even go there, and it's like they have armies that coerce people into doing what they want, so this is no good. You need a peaceful way to do it is to take back your body one by one, everybody on the planet one by one. Make the choice and do it that way. It's peaceful. Those guys can't stop you from not eating meat. If you don't want to eat meat, then there's ways to do it which are safe and helpful to everybody, and that's the peaceful way to protest. It's not even a protest. It's just a way of life. Just change your way of life. Quit killing stuff for a living. Quit going to war and killing. Quit going into businesses that are killing people for a living, and then you'll get peace. You'll connect the planet with with the upper levels, which are peaceful. Everybody's on your side there. The universe is on your side. The laws of nature are on your side. The animals are on your side, and the planet are on your side. Adopt a whole food, plant-based diet. Do it peacefully. If everybody did it, man, it would be a completely different planet. So what brought us to this fighting, all of these wars and differences of opinions? What brought us here to this place in the past? Let's see. And there it is, right there. Queen of Pentacles upside down. So, the Queen of Pentacles is, I would say the Queen of Pentacles is kind of like paradise on earth. Everything is correct here. But why is she so sad? Why does she look down? And I have to say, behind every queen is a king, and so you have to look at the King of Pentacles is the Dark King. This guy has a demon under his foot, his foot is armored, so that means physical violence, that means war, that means military, that means coercing the dark forces into doing how he pleases, so he sends out the dark forces to bring back the goods, So I don't, in the city, the big city's behind him, the castle is behind him there, So I don't think it's gonna work. It won't work that way. I mean, that's what we have now. We have those coercive kings, which are, they think they're on God's side, and they think they can go out and coerce people using the dark forces. I mean, it's really dark when you coerce people into doing what you want through violence. It's not good, and it's not peaceful. You're not going to get paradise on earth there. And this is one of the Queen of Pentacles is upside down. So maybe this is a good card. Maybe we don't see what's going on exactly with this king and queen. People think that they're free to say and do what they want, and fight about it somewhat, but the people who are really in control are those kings and queens. So there you go. So what's the future of this outcome? The future of the outcome. Not becoming a guru, so this Queen of Pentacles, she's out of the way. She's not becoming a guru. So what we have left, we have people fighting about every situation on their own. So here we have, in the future, we're just going to get, it's not, the planet won't be aligned. That's what it is. It's like people are going to have to come to their own alignment. So right now, they're not interested in that. And the future will not be aligned with the planet either. So it's a very dismal future. Even though you're not a guru, even though you're not the Queen of Pentacles, or the Castaneda, fell into the dark forces. He became the Dark King. He became holding on to spirituality. The Four of Pentacles. He was like he was trying to hold on to his kingdom and to lay the law down to to the people, they're not interested. The people are not interested in any kinds of wisdom, which maybe the Queen of Pentacles is a card of wisdom. I would say more over her than the King. So she sees she's not in this. She's in nature. It's some beautiful paradise, and so she's avoiding the king, kind of. She has a country house in the country somewhere, and the king is doing some nasty shit in the city. But the king's not here, so we got the queen who, she's not actively involved, which is good. She's not being a guru, she's not a guru. She's not actively teaching these guys how do you come to some paradise and lifestyle change. I would say she's the queen of beauty and lifestyle, which is it's kind of like paradise on earth. It's like the queen of paradise on earth. How do you get there? Well, she's not talking about it. So these guys aren't interested anyway, so, why should she do it? She's sad about that also, she's sad that nobody is interested in paradise on earth. They're just interested in their own point of view. And then you're going to get a planet which is totally out of alignment, which is what we have, which is, a planet that's failing, planet is sick. Planet is sick. It's got a fever called climate change, and the human body is sick. People have chronic disease all over. So, that's what you get when you're not aligned. So what's the upper levels in this case? There's one there. Okay, the upper levels. It's going back and forth. We're not going back and forth. It's pretty clear, So the upper levels are clear about things. It's not duality. It's not one guy versus the other guy. It's not like this opinion and then 180 degrees. It's not like all the way this way or all the way that way. It's none of that. It's not wonky, wavy points juggling spiritual points of view. And here we have the pentacles again. So the pentacles are belief systems. So which belief system do I want? Do I want it this way or do I want it that way? See, this is what gurus get into. You get into for every guru there's going to be people sitting in the audience that they're not there yet. They're not interested. They're still fighting. So you're going to get this duality going on of for everything the guru says, somebody's going to think something else, come up with something else, and so all those people in the audience, they're either following blindly or they have some opinions against it, which you don't want that. You don't want this pentacle, these gurus, this spirituality, this belief. So what's in the mundane life? What can we do in our everyday life to prevent this situation? The upper levels are clear. It's like oneness, one way. It's like everything comes together in the upper levels. As is above, so is below. So it's pretty clear that it's not divided up there. I mean, you still, on Earth, you have a choice, and I would say, that you have choices up there too. But it's pretty clear. You can see into You know, you meet yourself up there, and you can see into your own soul. So it's pretty clear that there's only kind of one reality, and we can have more of that oneness on Earth. You know, we can have the correct reality that we're supposed to be doing as humans. We're still not authentic humans yet. We don't know how to do that. We're still debating about what's an authentic human. We're, fight about it. So what can we do in the lower levels, the everyday mundane level, to like align ourselves with the upper level? Okay, that card wants to come out, so let's do that one. Okay, that's the we got more pentacles. This is like a spirituality. This is like she's still hunting. She's using the bird to hunt. That bird is a carnivore, and bird. Birds are great. But humans don't need to live their lives like animals. This woman is an aristocrat. She has a whole bunch of pentacles there, which are collection of beliefs. What do you want to say? Those are belief systems. The Queen of Pentacles says there's only one belief system, and she's pretty much focused on that, and that's what we have in the upper levels too. We don't have duality there. We have oneness. So on Earth, instead of having all these belief systems where we're all fighting over them, it's like for every belief system, somebody's going to be fighting about it, which brings us out of alignment. So it's I would say the easiest way to prevent this situation, which is the card upside down, which is what we're talking about, is stop behaving like a carnivore. We're not animals. We're not carnivores. We're not meant to be carnivores. We're peaceful human beings. We're not meant to go out and kill animals for a living. We're not meant to go out and kill humans for a living. We're not meant to go out and kill businesses for a living in competition like the way businesses do, that they run their business as if they're war. So we're not meant to do it. We're not meant to come into our authentic humanness behaving like animals. So let the animals go. Stop hunting like an animal. We're not meant to go there. We're not. It's like we've done that already, for thousands of years, and give it a chance. Give a peace. If you want peace in life, you're not going to get it by protesting. You're not going to get it by going out there in the streets and getting beat up by coercive forces. The King of Pentacles. You're not going to win over the King of Pentacles. You're just not. Those guys, they have all of the power, and it's the power of force. It doesn't have anything to do with beliefs exactly. It boils down to force. This bird hunts by force. It goes out and it kills something for a living. And that's okay for animals, but when humans behave like that, you're going to wreck the planet. Animals don't do much damage when they're out there killing for a living. That's what they do. But a human behaving like an animal who is out there killing other humans for a living in wars, you're going to blow up the planet, and you're going to have a basic disrespect for life. You're not going to respect life very much because, it's like nothing. You're going to have factories of killing chickens for lunch every day, and killing pigs for breakfast every day, and killing cattle for dinner every day. So you're going to have a basic kind of disrespect for life in general, because it's nothing to go out and kill something for everyday meal 3 times a day. And you're not going to think very much about running over the next country with some force to get what you want, because you think this is some kind of normal point of view, but it's not. This is not the way a human is supposed to behave, and we're not supposed to be doing this. This says no, this says no, this says no, this says no. So why are you guys still fighting? That's the question. Why do you guys are fighting over every fucking point of view? Why, even in the even in the upper levels of consciousness, people are still fighting about it. So why? So I guess that's about all I have to say for this reading.